Stephen Curry has ended speculation over his future by signing a one-year contract extension with the Golden State Warriors until 2027. The deal is worth a reported $62 million and change. It means the four-time NBA champion will be guaranteed $178 million over the next 3 years. Curry passes $500 million plus in career earnings on the court, joining LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Because of the over 38 rule, the one-year extension is the maximum that Golden State could offer. Now this is really exciting. Where is my guy? There look at how dapper. Stephen A, I mean, now this man knows how to show up to First Take. Look at the suit, the haircut. He's always ready.
I have to take credit. I have to. Because he was coming here with just collared shirts, no tie, anything, and I had to get on him. And ever since then, he has upgraded. People have said he looked like a politician. He looks so astute, like a statesman everywhere he goes. He was representing the United States of America in Paris just as much as the athletes were, for crying out loud. Wendy was everywhere. He was everywhere.
Wendy was
Great
everywhere.
job, by the way.
And
Thank God, Stephen. Somebody's giving Stephen A credit. Thank God. We don't have enough Stephen A getting credit, so thank God.
Seriously, absolutely.
Right.
But Wendy, we'll get into it. But you look relaxed. I'm glad you got to see your family. They remembered who you were, and because we'll be ramping things up pretty soon here, right? Wendy, tell me this: what do you make of Curry's extension? What can I learn from this?
Well, I actually never believed any of the hype that there was a chance that he was ever going to be anywhere but Golden State, but that did exist out there. There was some of that. So this is him just backing up what he's always said, which is he wants to be a Warrior for life. And let's just be honest, this is a vote of confidence in the direction of the Warriors. He didn't have to sign this now. In fact, he could have waited another year, and next year he would have been allowed to sign for 2 years. So him doing this now is saying, hey, I respect what we're doing as an organization, and we're going to sort of pivot and try to continue to improve here. The Warriors are not going to win a championship this year as they're currently constructed, I don't believe. I don't think many people do. But one thing that the Warriors have been doing since really last winter that, really should be paid attention to is their big game hunting. They, in one of the strangest stories of the last year in all of sports, if you ask me, if you remember, guys, the Warriors tried to trade for LeBron James at February's trade deadline. Now, it didn't get anywhere, but that was interesting. Then, over the summer, they tried to trade for Paul George. And when that didn't work out, they couldn't make a deal. They tried to trade for Lauri Markkanen. So they are absolutely big game hunting. Now, big game hunting and big game landing are two different things. But they absolutely have the ability to look at other moves as we go forward here. Let's see how this season plays out. And they went and they added some players. They have some young players on their roster. This is a team to watch going forward transactionally. And Steph Curry signing that contract is his belief that this organization still has good days ahead.
You know what, Wendy? First of all, 1 year, 2 year, it doesn't matter. Anybody who from the Golden State Warriors organization who allows Steph Curry to ever leave should be banned from the state of California and banned from the NBA for forever. This is the greatest play in franchise history. More importantly than anything, I don't care what anybody says. More importantly than anything else, the role model that he has been, the model citizen that he has been, while maintaining his superstar status as the greatest shooter God ever created. You just can't say enough about him. And so I want to put that any money that he earns, I don't count his money because whatever it is, he's underpaid. He is underpaid. Same thing with LeBron, by the way, underpaid. I don't give a damn what money you give them. They're underpaid compared to what they bring to the table. And that's just me being real and straight up about it. Having said that, the stuff that you brought up about Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, I'm very interested in delving a bit further. And in the weeks and months to come, I'm going to do that. Why couldn't they get Paul George? Why can't they get another superstar to pair with Steph Curry, especially in the aftermath of Kevin Durant's departure? Maybe you didn't feel the need to have anybody. I get that part, because Klay Thompson's Klay Thompson, and I still believe in that brother, by the way. And Draymond is Draymond. As far as I'm concerned, people better open their eyes, wake up. This is a future Hall of Fame player. Scoring ain't everything. With all the intangibles that Draymond Green brings to the table, the Warriors are not 4-time champions without Draymond Green. He's a Hall of Fame. But I'm still looking at the organization as a whole, specifically Steve Kerr. And I'm saying, how come we can't get this brother any additional help? We're talking about a Steph Curry that still looks like he's in his prime. Still the greatest shooter on the planet. Still good for 25 a game. Still good for 40% shooting plus from 3-point range. Why the hell can we not get him? One of the nicest guys on the planet. Teammates love him. Organization reveres him. The city has deified him. The area has deified him. Owns the Bay Area. Why in the hell can you get somebody worth noting to come and play with this brother? You got Draymond, and not only that, Draymond, the point forward that he is, the vocal leader that he is, the facilitator that he has proven to be, the defensive stalwart he has proven to be. Why can't you get guys to play with those two guys? I'm like, wait a minute now. You would think people would clamor to do so. I don't know if that has been the case. And I'm asking you, Wendy.
Yeah, I do think, well, first off, they haven't been able to find a price that makes sense. The price that the Clippers were asking for Paul
That's
George
true.
was not a price that the Warriors were willing to meet. And the price that the Jazz were sort of dangling out there for Lauri Markkanen was a higher price than the Warriors were willing to pay. And I'll just clarify it. The Warriors don't want to give Brandon Podziemski. They view Brandon Podziemski, he's not anywhere near the exact same player as Klay Thompson. They're very different in terms of their styles and sizes and everything. But they sort of see Podziemski as the replacement for Klay Thompson. They want him to shoot 8-10 three-pointers a game. They see that. They have deemed him untouchable. And after deeming him untouchable, that has made it hard to make a deal. A key player to watch for them is Jonathan Kuminga. He is in the middle of contract extension talks right now. If they sign Kuminga to an extension, I think it's more unlikely that they trade him. However, if we get past the October deadline of an extension and they don't find a deal there, I think he becomes a high probability of being traded during the season. So that's one of the things we're going to watch. I think the big thing is that Joe Lacob and that ownership group and Mike Dunleavy, their general manager, are out there looking to really add to this team. They have scaled back their spending. They've reduced their luxury tax bill by something in the neighborhood of $150 million this year. There's no doubt that their spending is down, but that doesn't mean that they won't continue to spend. And so as the season goes along, you are correct, Stephen A. We're going to watch the Warriors, how they start, and who may become available during the year.
Wendy, this is Stephen A. Smith you're talking to. So I'm going to ask you again. I know that the Golden State Warriors have tried to curb back their spending with all of those money, with all of those dollars Joe Lacob spent throughout the years, over $600 million, if I remember correctly. I mean, the money that he doled out in terms of salary, luxury tax, and all of this other stuff.
Guys.
He owes no one an apology. I was asking about a desire to play for Steve Kerr. Is that direct enough?
I think all the answers have been answered because he signed that contract yesterday.
I wasn't talking about Steph Curry, though, but I got you.
You weren't talking about Jason Tatum either. All right.
Hello fans, as we've seen, Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards is a breath of fresh air that the NBA needs. A precocious 24-year-old who isn't afraid to speak his mind, just as he isn't afraid to complete a massive dunk over the gridiron of the league's best rim protectors, the Atlanta, Georgia native recently caused a huge firestorm among the league's pioneers when he claimed that outside of the iconic Michael Jordan, no one else had much skill. Anthony Edwards' words didn't go down well with the old guard. In particular, Hall of Fame point guard and five-time NBA champion Magic Johnson took exception, saying he believes someone who hasn't won a title isn't worth their attention. I never respond to a guy who hasn't won a championship. There's nothing to say. He hasn't won a college championship. I don't even know if he's won a high school championship, Magic responded. Speaking on First Take, renowned sportscaster Stephen A. Smith backed Magic, emphasizing that what Ant said was completely disrespectful to the players who helped pave the way for him to succeed today. The veteran journalist said Magic was within his rights to say what he did. While today's players are undoubtedly more skilled and talented due to the evolution of the game, it's important to remember and show respect to the legends who paved the way. They're fair game. He's a 5-time champion, universally recognized as the greatest point guard in the history of basketball, Stephen A. Smith said when asked about his thoughts on Magic's rebuttal to Anthony Edwards' comments. Edwards' feelings were clearly out of line, as he didn't have to look far for examples of skilled players during the Jordan era. Larry Bird wasn't skilled? Magic? Isaiah Thomas was one of the most skilled guards in the history of basketball. Magic Johnson was 6 feet 9 inches, a 6 feet 9 inches point guard. We'd never seen anything like him, Smith emphasized. When you come out with a statement that, the only skilled player was Michael Jordan, that's blatantly disrespectful to the old guard. Stephen A.'s main contention was that without the spectacular play of Magic, Julius Erving, Hakeem Olajuwon, and many others, today's superstars may never have had the chance to reach their potential. Iconic players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James benefited from the foundation laid by those who came before them. One of the things I pay attention to is that I'm very apt to bring up the fact that if it weren't for the pioneers, the others wouldn't be what they are, he said. Smith pointed out, before there was Dr. J, there was Connie Hawkins, to cry out loud. Before there was Michael Jordan, there was Dr. J. Before there was Vince Carter, there was MJ. Before there was Kobe Bryant, and things like that came after. The world of basketball is constantly evolving, and today's players are undoubtedly more skilled and talented than ever before, thanks to advancements in coaching, training, and technology. However, amid all the excitement and hype surrounding the current generation of players, it's essential to remember the legends who helped pave the way for their success. Now we want to hear your opinion. Who's right, Anthony Edwards or Stephen A. Smith? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for following NBA News on TV.